In this video, I am going to show you how to cut up a head of broccoli. We are going to be accompanied by the sound of my baby rumbling around the kitchen in his walker, beating on random things with a wooden spoon. So you have been warned. So I have 2 heads of broccoli here. I'm going to be making some broccoli soup tonight. And I am using my bird's beak knife just because it's my favorite. In my opinion, it's the easiest to use. You can use any kind of knife. You can do this with a steak knife. It really doesn't make a difference. This is not brain surgery. So we're gonna start with these bigger stems here, and we're just gonna cut one off. Now I'm gonna cut most of the stem off and put that in my compost. And I'm just gonna cut this into kind of medium, maybe like a big bite-sized piece. And I am going to put these in a colander. I prefer to wash broccoli after I have already cut it all apart. I think it's easier and I think it gets cleaner. If you try to wash it when it's whole, there is so much space. Beating on the trash can. There are so many little nooks and crannies in there where dirt can hide. It doesn't get as clean as if you wash it after you've already cut it up into whatever size pieces you need. Now, if you're making a recipe like, for instance, my chicken salad recipe uses broccoli in it. Something like a chicken salad where you want to get a little bit of every ingredient in every bite, I'm going to cut my broccoli pieces really tiny. I'm going to take it all the way down to tiny little pieces like this. That way you can get a little chicken, a little broccoli, a little apple, a little grape, everything all in one bite. But for this soup, and the soup I'm making is pureed as well, so I just need to cook the broccoli until it's tender. So I'm just gonna see those kind of secondary stems, I guess. I'm just gonna cut those. You can cut a little bit of the excess off. I think some people go ahead and eat them. I usually put them in the compost and they feed my garden next year. So I just take it all, well, that's a very tiny piece. You just take it all the way down. When you get to this end, there's usually a really big chunk kind of at the end of the stem. You just cut that into whatever size pieces you want and repeat the process with the next big stem. And you're gonna do that. For my purposes, these secondary stems are about the right size pieces. Oops. And you just keep doing that until your whole head of broccoli is cut up. And then you can use it for whatever it is. Now, if you're doing something like, say maybe a veggie tray with, hummus or ranch or some kind of dip, then you may want to leave them in bigger chunks like this because they're easier to hang on to. It's more of a finger food. It's easier if it's in bigger pieces. You don't want to be trying to dip a teeny tiny little fragment of broccoli in your hummus or your ranch or whatever you're using. So it's easier to leave it in big pieces. But again, for my purposes, just kind of medium-sized chunks. They don't have to be super uniform. This is all there is to it. This is how you cut up broccoli. Cauliflower is very much the same way. Cauliflower has a little bit of a different texture. It's a little less flexible, I guess. It's a little more rigid in its structure. But this is how you cut up a head of broccoli. Very easy, very simple. And then I will just take my colander full of broccoli florets and I will wash it really, really well under the kitchen faucet. And you have broccoli ready to use for whatever you are making today. So hopefully you found this helpful. Now let's go make something delicious.